I'd like to call this meeting of Erie County Council to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. We didn't discuss it, but does someone have an optional prayer or invocation?
Yes.
Mrs. Showerman.
I'm actually going to read the one that I gave last year in January. Here it is. Be at war with your vices, at peace with your neighbors, and let every new year find you a better person. Thank you.
Thank you. And I'm going to take the roll. Mr. Bale?
Here.
Mr. Horton?
Here.
Mrs. Rennie?
Here.
Mrs. Showerman?
Here.
Mr. Scatella?
Here.
Mr. Shank?
Here.
Mr. Winarski?
Here.
Wonderful. Is there anyone from the public that wishes to speak? Seeing none, we'll move along. This is the nomination of officers for Erie County Council. This happens every January according to the Home Rule Charter. My chairmanship is very brief, thankfully. We are going to open the business of the meeting with the nomination of officers. We'll begin with the chair, and once the selection of the chair is complete, then that person will handle the work of electing the vice chair. So I'll begin by asking for a motion for chair of County Council in 2022. Mrs. Showerman.
I would like to nominate Brian Shank, please.
Mrs. Showerman nominates Brian Shank. Is there a second?
Bale seconds.
A second for Mr. Bale. 1 minute, Mr. Horton. I'll get to you. Are there any other nominations for chair?
Nominate Councilwoman Mary Rennie for office.
Mary Rennie is nominated by Andre Horton.
I'll second that.
Is there a second? Thank you. Mr. Scatella seconds. The way I'm going to handle this is take the first motion first. There'll be a vote on Mr. Shank as chair, and depending on the outcome of that vote, we'll take the second nomination. Is that all right with everyone? All right. So this is to nominate Brian Shank as chair of council. Mr. Bale?
I vote aye.
Mr. Horton?
No.
Mrs. Rennie?
No.
Mrs. Showerman?
Yes.
Mr. Scatella?
No.
Mr. Shank?
Yes.
Mr. Winarski?
Yes.
That motion passes 4-3. Congratulations, Mr. Shank. This is yours. You'll be able to open the floor for nominations for vice chair.
Thank you. I appreciate that. At this time, I'm going to open the floor for nominations for vice.
Nominate Mary Rennie for office of vice.
I second that.
Okay, we have a first and a second, and we have a roll call vote for that
On the
position.
nomination of Mary Rennie as vice chair, Mr. Horton,
Yes.
Mrs. Rennie,
Yes.
Mrs. Showerman,
Yes.
Mr. Scatella,
Yes.
Mr. Winarski,
Yes.
Mr. Bale,
Yes.
Chairman Shank.
Yes.
That motion passes.
Hi.
It's your show, Mr. Chair.
Well, procedurally, what part are we at next? So basically, we've already elected the two. So at this point, is the comments and chair and the members.
Yes, sir.
Ms. Rennie, would you like to start first?
No, I'll defer to you. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, I appreciate the support, and I understand these are elections and there is consequences, and we appreciate the support. You know, we have a new administration. We have some new directions from the county executive. So I think we're at a really kind of historic place. You know, we're still kind of stuck in this COVID trench. We have a lot of work to do. I know Mr. Davis and I have spoken about directions. Do I always agree with him? Absolutely not. And I think that's a fair thing to have between the chair and the county executive. I'm not a rubber stamp for Mr. Davis. I'm here for my constituents, and I'm here for the folks that we sit on this chair with. Thank you. Ms. Rennie?
Thank you. I have, let me just turn to this. 2022 is a year for new faces in county government. New council members will be joining the rest of us, most of whom after 2 years still consider ourselves newbies. Losing experience is a loss, and there's no question about that. Newness brings strengths and advantages as well. But it also means challenges and vulnerabilities. As we know, with great power comes great responsibilities. The size of the budget and the sheer scope of county reach translates into money, power, influence, all balanced with, and sometimes against, great need in our community. Any gaps in experience and knowledge, unfortunately, will be filled, and in many cases, by people who assume a mantle of knowledge and authority encompassing decades, when in reality, their direct experience is very limited and their shelf life short. We have seen unprecedented challenges over the past few years. There is so much at stake and so much being asked of government and so little trust in government at the same time. These things go beyond one job or any one person's needs. Government has the potential to meet immediate needs, but just as important, and I think more importantly, it has the power to lay the foundation for the future and for people to reach their potential, all people to reach their potential. What we do on county council is important, but I would say that how we do it is at least just as important, that we operate with integrity, with honesty, with transparency, and that we operate with facts and knowledge. And to do that, our process has to be a good one. We have to have an understood conduct of meetings. We need to go by the schedules for agendas that we set, meetings, ordinances, resolutions. They should not be last-minute additions. Fact-finding should be thorough, and there should be time for finding those facts. Discussions should be kept to facts and issues. Decorum should be maintained. All council persons should be heard. It doesn't have to come down to one person always having the last word either. So I hope that we can be moving forward in this year in the spirit of that wish, that what we do and the integrity of what we do has to be upheld and maintained. And I thank you for your vote today.
Thank you, Vice Chair. Any other comments from our members?
Mr. Chair,
Mr. Horton.
certainly, I'd like to welcome Mr. Bell, certainly Mr. Wynarski, again, Mr. Scatella, to Erie County Council. You'll find that the county is this behemoth of services, and things are underfoot. Change is coming. Here we haven't had a change in administration in over 20 years, and so I'll leave you with these 3 C's that were left with me, and that is always look for common ground. where there's no common ground, look for consensus. And if there's no consensus, always know and be willing to compromise. Welcome to Erie County Council. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Orton. Any other members have any comments at this time? Go ahead, sir.
I really didn't get a chance to do it last week, but I got here a different way than the new members got here. We lost Kim Clear, and it was up to council. The council had 3 Democrats, 3 Republicans, and I was honored to get a 6-0 vote. Today, we see a difference, and I hope after this past vote that we can look forward, working together to do good for the people in Erie County. It's not going to be easy, and we're going to yell and we might fight, but after that battle is over, we move to the next issue and have a civil conversation. You know what's going on in this country right now with how vile it can be. Let's have Erie County stop that. And I thank you again for having me on it.
Thank you, sir. Any other members have anything in closing? Go ahead, sir.
Chairman?
Yes, sir.
Got to use my terminology right sometimes as I've switched sides of the street a little bit. I just want to thank everyone for this opportunity. I do honestly look forward to working with this council, with the administration, and to do what's right. And it's not about D's and R's in my mind whatsoever. We came here to represent all of Erie County, and that's what my job is to do. So I just want to thank you all for the opportunity. Look forward to the next 4 years, and let's get things done. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Well said. Anybody else?
I would just like to welcome everyone also. I think the last 2 years that we've been here, for those of us that were here 2 years, have seen how well people work together, and I foresee that with this new group too. And I thank you for joining us. Welcome.
Okay, I will wrap it up with a real quick one. Welcome, all the new members. I appreciate you guys stepping up and taking the challenge. We know this is a tough gig, and we've got some great experience coming in from Mill Creek, coming in from Erie with our new members, and Mr. Charlie Bale south of here. Sorry you couldn't be here, but this is going to be a good year. We've got a lot of changes coming up, but we're going to stay on course where we've been. I'm not going to derail this. I can't speak for the county executive. I know he's not going to derail this. So we're going to work together, and we're going to bring this thing home, and we're going to have a good Erie County. We're going to get through this pandemic. We're going to get through this budget. We're going to get through all the shenanigans, and that's one of Brian's favorite words. You're going to hear that a lot. So in closing, thank you for your support. We've got a lot of work to do, so we're going to get her done, and I will accept the motion for adjournment.
So moved.
And just-
Before we adjourn, Mr. Chair?
Yeah, I was just going to go over the adjournment, and then right off the line here is our reminder of our next meeting.
That's all. I was just going to admonish everybody that that's going to be upon us.
Right. See, I'm just following the script he gave me, see. So the next financial personnel meeting will be on Thursday, January 13th at 4 p.m. in room 114 Alpha, Erie County Courthouse. Next regular meeting will be County Council is Tuesday, January 18th, 2022 in room 117 County Courthouse. Members of the public wishing to speak at the upcoming regular meeting on council or those requiring specific accommodations are encouraged to call or email council office at 814-451-6303 or the website is available. Just want to do this. Thank you.